What's going on, everyone? Hope you're doing well. First off, I want to say sorry about the lack of uploads recently about the transfers. Just haven't really been into any of them. The only one that's really come out is Rodri. That whole saga was crazy. But other than that, not too much been going on that I really care about. I'm just waiting on certain things to happen. And yeah, but today I want to bring you my Premier League predictions. Premier League is the one league I follow the most. I'm very excited for it to come back. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting year with new transfers coming in and teams looking a lot different. But, throughout the season, I will be, I do like to talk about the games. I watch the majority of the games, and after the games, I always have thoughts I want to say. So I'm definitely going to be uploading a lot more on here about them. And yeah, let me get right into it. I'm going to start with relegation. I unfortunately think it's going to be one of those years where 3 go up, 3 go down. So I got Hull at 20, Ipswich at 19, Coventry at 18. I think any of them could be anywhere. I think Hull are definitely going to be in 20th. Sorry to say that, but I just don't think they're spending the money. The squad's just, when I looked into them, they just don't look good enough to really compete with teams that maybe could be in a relegation battle. I just don't see any of them really making a difference like Leeds did last year. I just think it's just going to be one of those things where, 3 go up. Maybe one of them will win a sneaky game early on and we'll get some hope from one of them. But from now on, I got 3 up, 3 down. Up next, I think Sunderland might be in the relegation battle. I'm not saying they're going to be there like it kind of was last year with West Ham and Tottenham, but I think they'll be lurking more than other teams. Them and Bournemouth, I have them at 17 and 16. I just don't like their squads too much. I feel like they haven't really bought in too much, and it's just not for me. 15th, I have Fulham. 14th, Palace. 13th, Nottingham. These 3 teams to me are all the same. I all think they're just decent squads. They're nothing crazy. I think maybe one of them can make some noise. I do think Palace do have a really good squad, but Glasner leaving, they lost out on Lacroix. I don't really know who they bought in, but for me, Palace I feel like they're always in the same spot, no matter how good they've looked in the past couple of years, with them winning the FA Cup. I think it was the FA Cup. Sorry if it wasn't. Their squads always seem to be anywhere from 12 to 15, no matter how good their squad is. They do have some great players. Like Wharton, I think Amada's a very good player. Sarr was killing it at the World Cup, and even going into the season, I like Mateta a lot. But, they're just an all right team. Nottingham, same with them. 12 I do have Brentford. I think this is their second year going off of Frank. Last year, they're actually a really good team. Obviously, Igor Thiago was scoring goals left and right, but he did get exposed to the World Cup. I do think he's going to have a good year again. But, yeah, they just seem to be a bottom-of-the-table team. 11, I do have Leeds. I'm a big fan of Leeds this year. I hope they come top 10 personally because I really do enjoy watching Leeds play. I'm a big fan of Daniel Farker. I think that's how you say his name, Farker. I do like Dominic Calvert-Lewin a lot. I think them bringing Harry Wilson was a great signing. I think they got someone else in defense. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But they have made some decent signings, or they lost out on someone. Maybe I'll mix up the two, but do have Leeds in 11th. 10th, I have Everton. Not really much to say about them. I feel like they're the same team every year. They might be lurking between 10 and 13 in the Premier League rankings. They might upset a team here or there. But I just don't think they're going to be as good enough as the teams ahead of them. 9th, I have Brighton. Again, I feel like same thing every year. They just have all these great young talents. I did see today Baleba might leave. That will affect them a lot, but I do think they have a solid lineup. 8th, Newcastle. Okay, this is the one where I start gets tricky because 8th, I did have Newcastle. They've lost a lot of people. Eddie Howe got canned. Bruno Guimaraes went to Arsenal. Tonali left. They're just losing guys left and right. And I really haven't seen them land anyone in the market. I know Højbjerg rejected them. Manzabi obviously went to Aston Villa. I feel like they just have a depleted squad. And it's the same squad. Obviously, I know he didn't really play, but Trippier left. I don't know how much of an impact that'll have. I was looking at the line. Their back line's still decently solid. You got Nick Pope, Dan Burn, Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento. It's a good enough team, and I do like Johanna Wissa a lot. Johanna Wissa and Voltamata, they're to be the 1 and 2 up there. It's a good team. Alanga, they have guys, but I just don't think they're gonna be good enough to really secure a European spot or challenge for a European spot, unfortunately. 7th place, I have Aston Villa. I think losing Morgan Rogers was huge. Obviously, when someone offers you $120 million for a player, you're really not going to say no. And then today, they just lost Ezri Konsa, who was, in my opinion, their best defender, who went to Arsenal. I think Emi Martinez is gone. I don't know who they have a goalkeeper. But Villa, to me, I think will take a step back, unfortunately. It's not like a a bad thing. It's just that them playing in the Champions League and they've really lost a lot of guys. I'm a big fan of this Manzabi kid coming in, and they have the Maggio kid up top, Maggio. Like they have good young talent coming in, but I just feel like the squad still has like a couple more holes they need to fill. Like that back line, I think you're gonna have now Cash, Pau Torres. Like I know Dina's gone, so I think Matson's on the left, like the left back. Like I don't know. That line is very spooky. So I'm not gonna say that Villa are gonna have a terrible year, but to their past couple season standards, seventh place does feel like a dagger to them. It's kind of, and then sixth place. I kind of thought about this one. I put Chelsea. I do like I love the Xabi Alonso signing. I'm a big fan of Xabi Alonso. I thought he was unfairly kicked out of Madrid. Obviously, we know what he could do over at. Obviously, we know what he did at Leverkusen, and I think it's going to bring better talent to the team. They bought Lacroix on defense. They signed Rodgers for that money. Cole Palmer's getting better. João Pedro's back. I do the Welbeck signing is interesting. It just gives them extra bonus. You lost Cucurella, which is a big loss, but the whole I would have had him lower, but they kept Enzo, and I think keeping Enzo is a big thing. He's, in my opinion, a great midfielder. He gets a lot of hate, obviously, for his antics and all that, but I do think Enzo Fernandez is a great midfielder, and him and Caicedo are always great together. They really strengthened the defense a lot, and I just think Chelsea, for sixth place, it feels, again, like the teams who are like 5 to 7 that I have in here, it feels like a disappointment, but the way I view it, like, I just don't think they're going to be better than the top 4 teams I have upcoming, because in fifth, I have Spurs. This would be a crazy one because they were in 17, 16 back-to-back years. I think when I watched them last year with De Zerbi, I think they played really well. And this season, they have just been spending and spending and spending. They got Mateus Fernandes. They have Tonali now. I think they got someone else. I know that, well, they're getting Robertson. They're looking at Gakpo. And then I saw today they're going for Savinho and Marmoush. So they're making moves everywhere up top, all around. They're trying to fix everything. They did lose Coutinho Romero, which, like, stinks. But I feel like for Spurs, like, he was very up and down at times, very clumsy, always getting red cards. The huge upbringing of Porro. I'm sure no one really came in for Pedro Porro after the World Cup. Porro, Udogi, like, they have an all-around great squad, and I think they have a great manager. The bench is all right. So I do have Spurs fifth. I think they're going to take a massive jump, and yeah, I think, could they get to fourth? Probably not, but fifth is very respectable for what it was the past 2 seasons. They're back in European football right then and there, and not having European football for them, I think it's going to be a big boost. They get more rest. They have a chance to go for extra trophies, as in the Carabao and the FA Cup. So I do like Spurs. Fourth place. All right, my top 4. This is where it gets interesting. Fourth, I debated between Liverpool and United, but I'm going to give it to United. Top 4. So in fourth place, I have United. I just think they're going to be playing more games this week. I do like the signings they have in midfield with Tielemans and Andre Santos. But the defense scares me a lot. I'm just not trusting it with, like, the back line they have. They did get back Rashford in the attack, but, is he really going to play? Mbumo, Cunha, Sesko, I think will have better years. I just think for me, it's Carrick is still the head coach or the manager, and they're going to be playing a lot more games this year. Last week, they were pretty much done playing games from game week 2 in the Premier League. So they're going to have to rotate more. They have to play a lot more games. I'm not really going to look into Bruno's World Cup to drag them down. I still think Bruno's going to be the heart and soul of that team. But I will put them fourth. Liverpool third. I think you intertwine them. Liverpool, as a Liverpool fan, I'm nervous. I'm very excited for this team, for this team, I should say. Iraola comes in. I think they have a good squad. I think especially if they're going to get Barcola and Baye, they will definitely have a much better squad. I do like the signing of Araujo on a loan. I think you have really nothing to lose there. Jaquet in preseason looked very good. I think people are really writing this team out from what was a terrible year last year. So third place is very respectable. I'm not going to say second just now because you'll know who second is by my winners. My winners are going to be Arsenal again. I think they're a very, very good team. I think bringing Guimaraes and the Zolis guy are really going to put more at the top. They just got Konsa today. Like, they just have so much depth. They're great defensively. They're great on set pieces. People like to talk about their attack and play, but I just don't know if anyone's really going to challenge them. So, I mean, second place is City. Marseca, if you watch that Community Shield game, they got boat raced by Arsenal. I mean, it was done in 40 minutes. But, I just think they're better than the rest of these teams. You brought in Elliot Anderson. You still have Holland. Cherokee a great player. Semenyo. Kusanov. Like they have players that you're really confident going in with into the season. I think Marseille can get them going. And yeah, so Arsenal win. City, Liverpool, United right out my top four. Spurs, Chelsea get the other European spots. I think Villa will get a European spot, so I'm not too sure. But then, yeah, I have a 3 up, 3 down in my relegation. I just think Coventry, Ipswich, and Hull are really not going to pose too much of a threat to these teams that may be from like 15 to 17 in the Premier League. So pretty boring predictions. But I feel like a lot of people are the same ones. I feel like this is going to be a very chalky year. Maybe stuff happens around the top because Arsenal do have injuries with Saliba, Rice not fully healthy apparently. Their attack always has question marks, but I just think they're much better than City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Villa, all these teams. I just don't think they're going to really hold it to them. City might, but I don't know. It really wasn't convincing what I saw last Sunday. Top goal scorer, probably would be Erling Haaland. Really would be stunned at this rate as anyone else unless he has an injury. Other people I do like maybe for top scorer are going to be Isak. I think Isak's going to do a lot of the work for Liverpool, especially with Ekitike out for who knows how much. He's going to be the main target man there. I do like Dominic Calvert-Lewin for Leeds. I think he's going to get a lot more into him. I do think Leeds would be a much better team. And I do like Wissa for Newcastle. I think he's going to be on all the set pieces. Again, he's the target man along with Walter, so they'll be pretty good. Some guys who I like for top assist. I think Wirtz has a much better season. I'm not going to say he's going to be the top assister, but obviously I have Wirtz. Bruno obviously would be up there. I think Morgan Rogers would definitely be up there. Cherky and this Zolis guy. I think this Zolis guy is going to be very good. Seems like they're out on Martinelli. Seems like they're done with him. When I was watching this guy the other day, he was fantastic for Arsenal. I could definitely see him getting maybe like 8, not 8, it's going to be like 10 plus assists. I could definitely see any of these guys getting 10 plus assists. I do think Rogers might take it, weirdly. I just think Chelsea are going to be attacking a lot. I think him and Palmer are going to be the main creators. And I think Rogers is going to be feeding him more to Palmer, if that makes sense. Obviously, they'll both be playing into one another, but I think Rogers definitely be the top assister. Player of the year, I think it's going to be Rice or Gabriel. Pretty straightforward. I think it should have been one of them this year over Bruno, but teach their own. Some young talent I like. Some young talent I think will do better in the Premier League this year are Manzabi. Obviously, we saw him in the World Cup. He's a great player. There's a reason Villa paid a lot of money for it. Rio Ngumoha, I feel like that was more of a last year thing, but this year I think he will get a lot more playing time for Liverpool, especially in the Premier League. Showcase his talent. The Maggio kid for Villa as a striker, they need more talent up top. Watkins is kind of up and down at times. I could definitely see Watkins leaving at some point, but I feel like Emery's going to get ready to start getting these guys in. And then this J.J. Gabriel kid from United. I don't know too much about him. I think he's 16, 17, 8 years of age. But United fans seem to be really excited about him. Maybe get a couple games running in the Premier League to get his name out there. And I had some ones to watch. They bought him for a lot of money, but I'm still going to go with Wirtz. I think a lot of people are downing him already. I think a new system will help him a lot. And yeah, I think I have a much better season. I like this Andre Santos kid for United. He didn't really play for Chelsea too much because they have a lot of players in midfield. But I feel like when he played, he was very talented. And I think he's going to get a lot of work in that DM role with Casemiro leaving. He's going to be playing next to Tielemans. I don't think they're going to start Manu a lot. And he's a good attacking threat too. I feel like his style of play could be box to box. I really haven't watched too much of him, to be honest with you. But from what I've seen on clips, I think he could definitely be a great player to watch. And then the last one, I'm excited to see this person in the Premier League, is Gonzalo Garcia for Fulham. I loved this signing. I think Fulham did a great deal of business. Look, he cost like 60 mil to Fulham, and Real Madrid have the buyback. But I think it's great for him to come to the Premier League. I think he's going into a decently solid squad. He's going to play a lot. I don't know if Raul Jimenez is there anymore. If not, I think Garcia's going to be starting over him. They have guys like Josh King around him. I think like Smith Rowe's there. I kind of forgot who's at Fulham, to be honest with you guys. But Gonzalo Garcia, if he gets 10 goals, I think that's a huge success. I think he's going to show up in the big games that Fulham have to play. And yeah, so Wirtz, Santos, Gonzalo, my ones to watch. So that pretty much rounds it out. Let me know what you guys think. Kind of a longer video. So yeah, Arsenal win the league again is my prediction. That's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you all later. Peace.